In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of Paz and Cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and it's called Best Gen because we're all roughly from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's the best one, not because we as people are better than you, but because our movies and entertainment certainly was. So strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore while simultaneously complaining about the gross, poopy bad movies that Hollywood makes today. How is everybody doing tonight?
Eloquent. Poopy bad guys.
Yep.
Poopies. It's been a week for sure. It's been kind of crazy. Super busy for me.
Same.
But I'm super excited. We've got a whole bunch to talk about. We've got the Shogun, a season finale. I did not have to shave my head.
Yeah, it's a shame.
The video only got 30 likes, which is good. But
how many more than usual?
I could have safely gone with the 100 bet, and I would have been okay. I feel like that would have mobilized you guys a little bit more because it'd be easier to get. But I didn't think 1,000 was. That's the kind of video that could go viral. Okay, and I've gotten 1,000 likes before.
I was gonna say how many is your usual for a lot of your videos?
Well, I don't have enough subscribers yet to have like a standard. Right. So some of the ones that go viral, I've gotten 1,000 likes. You know,
nice. Okay,
a couple times.
So it was theoretically possible to get the 1,000.
Right. And then there's some videos where like I really think this is gonna do well, and then it gets 30 views. So
yeah,
great.
But that's the freaking algorithm for you, you know.
And it's the fickle mistress, that lady algorithm.
Have you noticed that nowadays you get recommended random videos that you never would like? Random.
Nowadays, what are you talking about?
Nowadays for like 6 months now.
No.
For like 5 months now.
Yeah, more so than usual too. Not just that,
No,
but the ads that I'm
ridiculous.
getting scrolling through shorts. I'm getting a whole bunch of like.
Shorts is out of control, but now I'm talking regular videos. So I have my feed, you know, and the recommended is like 2 videos that I would like to watch, and then a third random video that I would in a million years would never had any idea of what even is. So it would say like,
what's crazy? I get
Warhammer lore, and I'm like, I've never in my life had ever even mentioned the word Warhammer.
Yeah, well, that's connected to the culture war right now.
No, but then it's
because of the Custodes Adeptus.
Indian playing Wild Rift or some game like that, like mobile legends or whatever is the League of Legends of mobile. Literally, it has 2 views, and I'm going to be the 3rd view because I had to click on it to put it don't recommend, you know?
Yeah.
What's crazy is like everyone's complaining, all the creators are complaining right now that their videos aren't even getting sent to their own subscribers. I keep getting
from time to time.
I keep getting suggestions from people I unsubscribed to like years ago, and I'm like, but subscribers don't even go through.
Yeah. Wow.
I remember like when they did the whole bell and like the subscribe and then the like notification bell or whatever, that was a big thing where like, oh, it's not going out to the subscribers, but then that like went away for a while. It seemed like it was going out, but apparently it's happening again where the videos aren't going out to subscribers, huh?
Yeah, I know. Shadiversity's been complaining about it. A whole bunch of other creators have said the same thing. It's a platform wide thing right now. YouTube is dumb. Anyway.
I even get recommended videos that I already click do not recommend channel. It's insane.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I already don't want to watch this video about a random, I don't know, mobile.
And a lot of people are like, oh, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Stop complaining about YouTube. But like, that's not what this is. Like, they're biting the hand that used to feed them and now just like smacks them every day. You're like these are the people that.
Good analogy.
well, but also like the YouTubers themselves, they made YouTube what it is, right? And the content creators, like YouTube would not be what it is without them. It's one of the few things where, I mean, it is kind of communistic, right?
I was going to say it was a very symbiotic.
Like the workers kind of do own a little bit of the means of the production of YouTube, because it's a kind of system that couldn't exist without the users, and now they're trying to exist without the users, the workers, and it's not working. It's baffling to me. So do better. I can't believe I haven't clipped that from Falcon and Winter Soldier yet. This is stupid. I use it all the time. Do better, YouTube. Okay? Do better. Best TV show of all time. We got Shogun season finale. We got to talk about the Jinx, baby, coming in clutch right when we ran out of TV show. Because Fallout did a stupid and released all at once. We'll have the Jinx to talk about every week. I don't know how long that's going to last conversationally.
I don't remember if we actually like talked about how this is the fact, but like I haven't continued with Fallout because it was all dumped at once, and now
you haven't finished.
I'm behind, and I haven't finished.
Yeah, I watched the first
them's the
3
breaks.
episodes, and my wife and I took it like every other night or something. We'd watch them, and we watched the first 3 episodes in 1 week. And then we watched the 4th one, which I thought was pretty good. And then 5 and 6 were pretty terrible. And I haven't watched the last 2 yet.
Oh.
5 and 6 are awful.
It's just like completely.
I really liked 7 though.
Vibe.
I really liked episode 7, and then episode 8 is terrible.
Because even though, honestly, for the most part, most of the episodes, and most people out there are talking positively about it, when they talk about it, but it wasn't bad for the most part. A handful of episodes here.
I liked the first 3 episodes. They were pretty good.
If it had been week to week, we would have absolutely been going week to week, and I'd have been keeping.
Oh yeah.
I watched the first episode. Oh, that's all that I got, and then we moved on, and there's nobody's talking about it anymore. Nobody cares. So like,
well, I was supposed to do a lore video with Corwin, who loves the games. We planned it like, oh, it's coming out. We'll watch it all, and he still hasn't finished the show.
Yeah.
Just because there's no incentive to finish the show.
Yep. I get like the binge model was nice for certain things and at certain times, but it's just not. It's not a sustainable model. It's so dumb. Yeah. I mean, Netflix succeeded with what they did because it was new and fresh and interesting. It's not viable anymore. Yeah.
Did anyone else watch Ungentlemanly Warfare from last week?
I haven't gotten a chance yet.
I literally babysat your kids just so that you could.
The thing about going to the movies is you kind of have to have some disposable income.
Some pachocha?
Some bijujo, like they call it.
So there's lots to talk about. There's some wonderful people in the chat. Mark Clark, we see you, we hear you. Looking forward to meeting you in person at Dragonsteel. If you want to meet me in person, that's where I'm going to be at the end of the year. He found a nice hotel next to the airport, and there's buses that get to downtown from there. So
nice. Did you get your booth approved or heard word?
I haven't heard a single word yet. So might not have a booth, but if I don't have a booth, I'll have a backpack with a QR code on it. So
there you go.
And it'll be full of CDs.
Yeah.
See, I figured that I won't need to get a hotel because I know some people that live in the area that might be able to help me out. Either family or there might be some Bentley types.
There might be a few people you might know in the area.
Yeah, Jared's planning on going. David's planning on going, and a couple of our. I think Charles says he wants to go. Our younger brother. So.
Yep. And then our cousins at the
Simply Nerdy is going to be going.
Panel, they're going to be there as well. Most of the panelists on there are our cousins.
What was that, Jared?
I was going to say it'll be fun to meet everyone if I can make it.
Yeah, that would be super fun.
Where's Jared? Jared's not going to make it tonight. He's got a family thing, but other Jared's here, so that works.
Yep.
You have the better bearded Jared.
Yep.
Indeed. We can smuggle Mexa in. I wish. We do need to get visit sometime.
I just got a little bit scared when I thought that said we can snuggle Mexa, and I was like, wait, why are we what?
Why wouldn't you snuggle Mexa?
It's true. It's true.
Snuggable.
Yeah.
How, Mark Clark, how is it I finished a show and most of you haven't? Are you talking about Fallout?
Probably. That's where it was. That's where I'm talking about the point.
Oh, Mark Clark never finishes shows. Okay. Well,
go finish Shogun. That was good.
Shogun.
Oh, yes.
Let's do some news first. We got some news. There's not a whole lot, so we can just get it over with. Compart here. Once again, my UI is stuck in Spanish. So thanks for that, Streamlabs. Not Stream yet. Streamlabs is different from StreamYards. Good thing I can speak Spanish. Did you guys... I didn't even know that this was a thing, but apparently Zack Snyder has another Netflix thing coming out, which is animated.
Huh.
Twilight of the Gods.
I like that drawing style.
I like the art. I really hope someone else wrote the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Zach. Oh man, I wanted to like part 2 so much, and it was not good.
Oh, I still haven't seen that yet. I don't have any excuse because
I
don't need moolah to watch a subscription.
Yeah, you don't.
I mean, yes and no, but
yeah, right.
There's a lot of, I don't know.
Mostly bots.
Who knows if it's bots? Yeah, there's a bot problem right now. But in Shogun news, it's possible we might get a season 2.
That could be fun.
And we'll talk about season 1 later.
We scoffed at all those articles before because it's just based on a book, right? But the way that it ended kind of, we'll get into it.
The way that it,
over some of the endings.
That's the thing.
I think there's a couple of things you could do with it, though.
Yeah. It's one of those endings like The Matrix, where you're like, yeah, you could do more with this, but also if you stopped right now, it would be perfect. Yeah. And if you kept going, it probably won't be as good.
Right.
But yeah, so basically they're just they're not saying no yet.
Right.
And the most interesting sentence was, they're more incentivized to do a season 2 than they are to adapt another one of his books because of all of the groundwork that they've already done for this time period.
Huh.
I see.
So they did a whole they committed hard to make this historically accurate.
Yeah.
And so they studied a whole bunch, and like hats off to them because it was great.
Yeah. The other ones in the series were like different time periods in.
Yes,
I think the next one's like 200 years later or something.
Mm-hmm. In the Japans, yes.
In the Japan.
Yeah, so they'd have to scrap all of their.
So they have not said no. They have not said yes.
Yeah.
But
because the big question that I was hearing around that discussion was, do they do a season 2 that is a sequel novel, or do they do a season 2 that somehow continues this story, either filling in some of the stuff that we touched on?
They said they'd lean towards a season 2 that's a sequel. But then the problem is, and I love the way they're approaching it. Like the statement's actually really good. They're like, it's not even about topping the book, but it's like how do you even match the first book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's possible. I don't even know if Clavel could have done it because he didn't. Yeah. He moved on to a different thing. Yeah. But this is the attitude every showrunner needs, right? Like if you're going to do a season 2, it needs to be amazing, right? And they're like, we don't want to do it without a roadmap. If we do it, we would want it to be really good.
Star Wars, take note. Roadmaps are important.
Yeah.
And
imagine that
at the same time completely honoring the author. Like I don't know if I can write as well as him. Like this is the kind of person you want adapting your freaking books, okay?
Yeah.
Humble.
It's humble, right? Right.
Modern audience, yeah.
Mexa, one word, humble, which we have not, for some reason, we have not seen in years. Even with Game of Thrones, with even with the House of the Dragon, which we all liked, we hated half of the showrunners because their statements were not humble, and the other guy was like, "Yeah, we want to make something good," and the other guy was like, "I want to do whatever the heck I want," right? Like,
yeah.
Anyway,
pride is too much, right now.
But did you guys also know that Shogun fixes The Last Samurai's greatest weakness?
The white savior?
Yeah, there you go. It's the white savior.
Yeah.
Which is really funny, because I don't know if you've seen The Last Samurai. But Tom Cruise doesn't save anything in that movie.
Yeah,
they all die!
He's just avoiding to die. Like, he's just avoiding... All the movie... He literally just doesn't want to die, and that's the entire arc. Well, not that much, but
hey, we got the underground in the chat. How's it going, man? Yeah, no, like these. It's so funny that you'd compare these two movies and say that one is a white savior story and the other is not, because it's essentially the exact same story. Tom Cruise's role in the movie is literally to just bear testimony of the events.
Yeah.
That's how the movie ends. He goes and just tells everything that happened, and he talks of the sacrifice to the young king and gets him to change his mind. That's basically Blackthorn. It's the same story. Blackthorn doesn't affect the story a whole lot, but he's there to witness it.
He's there to make Tornaga smile.
That
was a good line.
So good. So good. We'll get into it deeper, but man, this pissed me off. As soon as I read it, I was like, it's a white savior thing, isn't it? But it's so stupid. It literally makes no sense. I love Shogun. I also love The Last Samurai. It's fantastic, and it doesn't have a greatest weakness. Its greatest weakness is Tom Cruise's height, because they literally had to dig trenches next. Well, I mean, they were all Japan's. They were all Japanese, so they were pretty short too.
Imagine he's the problem is that he's the size of the Japanese. He needed to be taller, so
the swordplay in Last Samurai is marvelous.
Samurai, I didn't even know he needed those. I didn't even know that he was too small.
He's so short, and they always have to put him up on boxes or dig trenches for his co-stars.
Which was one of the fun things with in Top Gun Maverick, when you actually got to see, and like they actually kind of got to show him being shorter than Rooster, because it's like fighter pilots are supposed to be small. I mean, it helps.
Yeah,
exactly. You need to be smaller. Yeah.
Anyway, I just man. Yeah. Some people are stupid.
It is what it is. Like that's
so
such it's the
I would argue some people are
recent-ish like clickbaits is this fixes that. This fixes that. So
yeah.
It's just their way to try to bait us into clicking on the article.
Or how about both of them are good. Watch both of them. Okay.
Yep. It's got to be competition. It's got to be setting one thing against another.
So you say, who did it better, Samurai or Shogun?
Mark, it's been like 2 years now, and you still haven't seen Top Gun Maverick. Okay, you know full well when it came out. Also, Severance season 2 is done filming. I'm excited for that.
I think that was good. That's on Apple though, right?
Yeah.
See, that's one of these days we're just gonna have to like subscribe to Apple for a month and just binge all the shows that they've got.
Yeah, I've heard Silo's really good too. They've got a lot of interesting sci-fi. I won't watch Foundation on principle, but
yeah, they got some other ones that look pretty decent now. So as much as I
that's
hate
cool.
Apple,
Season 1 was really fun. Very weird, and I like Ben Stiller directing. A lot.
Ben Stiller directed that, huh?
Wrote and directed, yeah.
Wow.
What is Severance about? Like, do you guys have you watch it?
Oh, okay. What a loaded
I heard
question. It's really, really weird. The premise is it's a dystopian workplace drama. It's a dystopian workplace drama. The premise is there is a technology out there that can split your memory in two. And so the premise is it's they use it as a way to protect intellectual property, where you go to work and they switch your memory. So when you're at work, you don't remember your home life, and when you're at home, you don't remember your work life. So you're basically two different people. It's a Jekyll and Hyde situation. It kind of.
All right. I thought that it was just. I mean, I'm sold. I want to watch it now.
No, it's really good.
I thought it was just like.
I've heard good things about it.
I don't know, like freaking drama about BS, like a romance. No, but
that sounds horrific. Yeah, it does, and that's kind of the point.
Mm-hmm.
It is really freaky. So, and anything with Adam Scott is going to be interesting. So
yeah,
yep. He's been good. The best part of Madam Web, and that's really not a stretch at all.
He was.
Yep.
He was.
Yeah.
I mean, he had like 15 minutes of the movie. Like he was like in 15 minutes, and he probably got paid like 100, not like $1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
That guy is big name.
He was the roll credits moment, right? He was the.
Oh yeah.
I'm Ben Parker. So yeah, I'm looking forward to season 2. Obviously, it won't be out for a while because they need to edit it and special effects it and stuff. But cool. Doctor Who's in the news again because they won't shut up.
Insulting their audience for not liking what they're putting out.
Someone needs to tell these people to start doing the interviews.
Yeah. Any critics of his casting, go touch grass, please, for God's sakes. Why not? I don't know, just hear me out. If you want to win over more people for your show, why not say, hey, I understand a lot of people are upset about the casting. I'm going to do my best to win you over. How about a statement like that?
Or say that you like the IP or has been your dream or something like that. I don't know.
They've said the opposite. They said they actively dislike the IP and that it needs to change.
Yep.
Yeah.
Russell T. Davies, and like people just do not like him. First, he's not a star. No one's even heard of him. He was on that one kid. He was on that one Netflix show about high school kids having sex with each other. That's his only claim to fame, and now
that's his entire thing.
Yep.
Gay stuff.
Yeah, he's been in one show called
Sex Education.
Sex Education, yeah.
You.
And now he's the Doctor, and like people, no one's upset that he's black. They're upset about the wokeness. They're upset about the message.
Terrible writing, yeah.
And when you get and then there's backlash, and then the response is, "Oh no, trust me, he's gonna be so good." This is like one of the dumbest statements ever. the Russell T Davis on Nukugawa said, I can just sit there when I'm looking at him and just be utterly certain that in 5 years' time he'll be leading a movie franchise, and security will be holding me back as I go, he promised me a ticket.
He's gonna be.
It's just dripping desperateness, you know? Oh.
He wants to get his dick sucked.
No, he's non-binary and also gay, so
It's the same.
they've said yes, the new Doctor is going to be expressing his sexuality. So anyway, you have that to look forward to if there are any Doctor Who fans left. So that sounds horrific. I know. Definitely, we're talking about Doctor Who and not Severance.
I was going to say that's not the same one you pulled up earlier. But still might apply for him.
Yeah, same comment.
Severance sounds interestingly horrific.
See, that's called framing. I made Mark Clark say something he didn't say.
I mean, he did say it.
But I changed it by the framing.
Twisted his words.
Yep. I didn't twist. I used his exact words. I just posted them out of context.
There you go.
That was done.
Oh, guys, you heard about Fall Guy?
That's next week.
Yeah.
I'm looking. Did you hear bad news? I'm looking forward to it. I thought it looks good.
No, I watched it already.
You've already watched it?
It was camera recorded.
It comes out on the 3rd of next month.
Really had good quality. Like even the music was recorded well. I don't know, man. These people. I mean, it was already in Spain, so they recorded it, or in Philippines or something like that.
Awesome.
I just gotta say that if you guys wanna watch it, like it's definitely a family movie. It has nothing sexual at all. Nothing. The most you see the two characters is like kissed like 2 times, because both of them are married to great people. So I don't think they want to. But I thought it was tasteful. The romance is not overblown. That when you have married couples, it's always awkward for me to see something like really weird. Sometimes you see, you used to see a lot in the past, way more, and nowadays, as well.
No.
And I just gotta say that you're gonna enjoy it. I mean, it's a family movie. Like I will grade it as a family movie. Maybe PG-13, perhaps, because of some use of drugs, but they don't really. They don't even they don't reuse the real drugs, or they don't really show any real effect. They show something really silly about the effects of the drugs. It's kind of like
No.
Not in the.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. I'm
PG-13 for
I
intense.
mean, in the beginning you're gonna kind of hate it. You're gonna probably hate it for trust me, you're gonna hate it for like the first 15 minutes. But I think that is the point. I mean, I think that they want you to hate it for the beginning, and then it's like gradually becoming a better and better movie. And at the end, it's like a big blown out action scene. And it has no wokeness, has zero identity politics of whatsoever.
Nice.
The only thing that they have is a joke about toxic masculinity, but it is well done. You're gonna laugh about it. It's well done. It was really well done. It was nothing woke at all. It was probably making fun about wokeness, if any. And you guys.
That's super refreshing to hear, because I've been looking forward to this one, and I've been
I would say
about
focus on the fun of the movie, and that's it. Like, it's literally just about the fun, because it has a lot of storytelling problems. Let's just say, but it's something normal with Hollywood movies nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful that it's not it's self-aware, and it's not like trying to be something that it's not. It's just a fun movie.
Also, it's a unique premise. It's a twist on a common premise.
Yeah,
Right.
My only
the,
issue that I have with the movie is how they get to those promises and those tweets. It's like, oh, it just happens, and it's like, oh, whatever. But they just brush over it, so it's like, okay, whatever. They don't care. They don't really care about it. It's just like get to the action, get to the battles, and I just gotta say in the beginning, Ryan Gosling seems that he doesn't know a lot of how to be a stunt guy. But then I guess in the the pass of the time during production of the action movie, he became
It's
better,
better.
better and better. And whoo, at the end you see like yeah, it's almost like he's in every scene. And in the end of the movie, stay for the credits because they show you like how they did the movie, and it's pretty interesting.
Oh, good.
Like
Yeah,
the rolling some behind the scenes during the credits.
yeah, but some of the stunt scenes from Ryan Gosling, who I think he's actually doing a lot of his stunt scenes, is
Nice.
crazy.
Cool.
And yeah, at his age, and I was wondering like, why do this movie is perfect for like the 90s or like the 2000s, where there was this like action movie flick with the Hollywood guy who is basically on the whole movie, and you have the attractive chick who is kind of famous, but it's just in like 15 minutes of the movie because he gets captured or something like that, right? So
Mhm.
the movie is just about the guy, and he's the big star, like Stallone or something like that. And well, Ryan Gosling is perfect for that, but he's kind of old in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, he does a great job. He breaks his bone. You can see how he gets bigger as well in the movie. Like he gets buffer when you see, oh, this guy needs more training to be able to do the crazier and crazier stunts, and you can kind of see that he gets like bulky, and it's kind of funny.
Both during the nice.
Yeah. It's a good movie. It's a good show.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. We'll definitely talk about that next week.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I have on my schedule. I have The Last Starfighter, which I know is a movie. I have it down in the guest column for next week. I think we were. I think someone recommended that we watch it for one of those weeks when we thought it was going to be a bye week.
Ah,
It was probably Mark Clark wanted us to watch The Last Starfighter. I don't know why that's there though.
Not his worst suggestion.
Yeah, it was Mark Clark. Yeah, but I just put it in the wrong column, so I confused myself. Right. Yeah, I know it's a classic. I've never seen it. We might do something like that. The other thing is Outer Range Season 2 comes back next month.
I
okay.
did see the ads for that. I was like,
And
that's really
they're
interesting.
dropping the whole thing at once.
Oh, come on. They didn't do that with the first season, did they?
Nope,
didn't.
it was weekly.
No.
We talked about it weekly.
It's still on
That's one
Amazon?
of the. Yeah, how many episodes are there?
I don't know.
What is it supposed to be?
That's frustrating.
Like,
Well, it's
I would
intriguing. It
almost
wasn't.
understand though, because like when it ended, it was a little like, okay, that was a thing, and so
Yeah.
I can see them maybe feeling like there's not a lot of excitement. That one makes a little bit more sense. 7.
7 episodes. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah. Still
I
good.
liked season 1. I thought it was pretty good. So
Yeah, it was okay. It was like I think I liked the
It's
intrigue that I
atmospheric.
felt like was built up around it. Yeah, the atmosphere for it was
Right.
really really
The
good.
acting was fantastic too.
Yeah.
it's
storyline
not
itself
not
is
like
okay.
no one's ever seen anything like
No.
this before,
Right.
but it has a personality that it owns up to really well. So
yeah.
it's kind of a predictable time travel story. The things that you'd expect from a time travel movie, we were all guessing. Oh yeah, that's this and that's this.
Yeah. That girl's the daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. See, Mark Clark here is trying to trigger me, saying I want someone to do more Raised by Wolves. So
I was gonna say, have we heard anything new since they canceled on that? Did they officially say nobody's picked it up, or is it just a? Because I know they said they were
it's
trying,
gone.
but
It's out of there. I would love more. So
Yep.
because he had the whole thing planned out. We got the kitty cam. Anyway, what do you guys want to talk about first then? Angry Mexi hasn't watched the whole season, but he started watching Shogun.
Well, we can't we can't spoil the end for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So why don't you
I
give
don't
us
even know what's going on, so everything
We
is
talked
in
about
Japanese.
Jinx.
everything's in Japanese?
I want
I
them
don't
to
speak
speak
Japanese.
good old English, bro.
Well,
Why
they
can't
do
you tell
Japanese
me-
the whole time. There's
Do
yeah.
they not have a Spanish subtitle option?
No, I mean, can do it in English subtitles, but I mean, like, I don't want to be reading the screen every time. Like, I have
Yeah.
ADHD, so I'm
It
like,
takes some getting used to.
I have
My
to
wife and I like
do a
watching.
lot of stuff, yeah.
My wife and I like watching TV shows together, and she usually does her knitting, and I
Yeah, you can't
scroll
look
through
down
my
for this
phone
one.
or
though.
whatever like that while we're watching something. You can't do that with Shogun.
Exactly. I instead of knitting, I'm either playing a game or
Yeah.
I don't know, editing a video, but I cannot be doing that.
But it's
Well,
worth it. It's worth it to sit down.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
just an
I'm
hour.
gonna-
Just take 1 hour out of your week every week.
I'm gonna try to
Watch some
take the
Shogun.
day off tomorrow and binge it maybe because tomorrow is my birthday. Yay!
Happy
Hey,
birthday!
happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Oh, the little cat went away. Okay, I'm back.
Besides binging Shogun, you have any fun birthday plans?
Not really. I'm gonna to my big thing is that probably not gonna go to work, so I hope they give me the day off. Even if not, I can take it on the weekend. I mean on Friday. But yeah, other than that, I'm just gonna chill in my house, clean my house, and yeah, relax.
Cool. Well, yeah. What Tech Max was saying, you should tell us what you're thinking of Shogun so far, of what you do, what you picked up on at least.
I mean, I've been watching when they get to the beach and
So not a lot.
yeah, but I already think I know that at least the pacing of the show, which is
It's slow for
it's
sure.
slow, but it pays off. I think like
There,
everything that they do, at least it pays off. You're like, oh, this scene's so useless, and then you get to another scene where it's like, oh, okay, that pay off like pretty quickly,
Mhm.
and with the scene of the children, the mom with the knife, and she's
Uh-huh.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like at the very beginning. I'm still in episode 1. halfway through.
there is an English dubbed version. I don't know how good it is,
Yeah.
but it's on
I-
Hulu. You can watch it in English.
I
I
was gonna
can't
say,
stand
something
watching
about-
dubbing on live action. Like if it's animated, go dubs because the mouth doesn't sync up anyway, right?
Right.
But I really hate dubbed live action.
The only exception is with Italian films. The Italians do a really
Well,
fantastic
because they do it
job
in
of
they
it.
take 2 takes.
No, not always. Life is
A
beautiful.
lot of time, not all the times, but a lot of times for the Italian westerns, they would have the actors like mouth, even though they didn't speak English, they would mouth the English
Mouthing.
lines.
Yeah, I know they do that sometimes, but when they don't do that, they have their own Italian people go in and match the English
pacing.
words to the
Yeah.
pacing of and they do a really good job. One example is "Life is Beautiful." It's another really great one in the original language, which watching in the subtitles, but the English dub is fantastic on that movie as well.
Nice.
I would happily watch either version of that film.
See, this is where AI can do awesome things, and they're already experimenting with
Yeah, I've heard about that.
not redoing the whole movie, but replacing the actor's mouth movement.
There are
That's a great
apparently
idea.
To do
things-
dub.
What they'll do is they have AI that will take and make it your voice and change your lips to be making the things. So like there's
Yeah.
some
The
serious
voice of the
stuff
actor,
going
yeah.
on. So, yeah. So like it'll sound like the actor
what-
themselves saying it in the language that they're
Yeah.
changing it over.
In a way, it could help to get you immersed in the movie, and it also could
Yeah.
help for people that don't speak the other language to make it easier for them. But I don't see really the. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like another 5 years at least. No, that's too much. 2
Yeah.
or 3 years for that to be a big thing.
That's what
I'll bet you though it'll it really comes into play, I think, for dubbing stuff like this because that makes the most sense, you know.
Yeah, for example, Mexicans are really good at dubbing animation and
Life is Beautiful
localization.
is an old movie about the Holocaust that was made in
Super good movie.
1997. Fantastic. Buongiorno, Principessa.
That whole conversation reminded me of a sketch, and I couldn't remember where it was from. And then I remembered that it was the Andy Samberg era of SNL. There's a sketch called "Grandkids in the Movies," where Andy Samberg and Bill Hader offer a service to put
grandkids in.
record themselves in the movie to explain the plot to grandmas. And so they do like No Country for Old Men, but they're like, "Hi, Grandma," and like, "This scene has a lot of blood in it. Close your eyes." It's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good sketch.
Speaking of Germans, apparently Mark Clark says Germans do good dubbing. The one I also just had recommended to me because you guys have recommended it before is Dark.
Dark.
Yep.
That's what I gotta get to.
'Tis most good. It's one of. Oh, I don't want to spoil anything about it. Never mind. I'll shut up. Never mind. I didn't say anything. Don't worry about it. It is quite unpredictable. And
I'm excited though. Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep watching Shogun
Yeah.
and Run That Run. I watched Run That Run.
That's a good movie.
Overrated. I
I have not seen that one.
Yeah, I watched that in my film class. That was fantastic.
There's better German movies.
I'm sure
I
there are.
watched Run That Run because I was in German class and we watched it in German, and I mean it's not a bad movie. It was really good for the time, and it's fine. It's just that I was kind of bored. I don't know. Germans can be kind of boring. That's it. That's basically the movie's fine, but the Germans are boring.
Yeah.
They are not fun. They don't laugh. They're really frigid. Yeah, I like a movie. I don't remember what it's called, but it's about Eastern Germany and how is the life there. And I had a teacher that was from Eastern Germany that was children before the wall, you know. And she lived all of that, you know, the government products and the Russian or the communist cars and all of those things. Yeah, she said it was kind of wild because you couldn't say anything, and the only thing that you will know is like the chants about and the history about your nation and the songs and the I don't know. It's kind of bizarre. That movie is really good. But yeah.
Mexico got some rocks from Mark Clark.
The Mao Germans
are cold in the street, hot in the sheets.
I don't know about that.
Wouldn't know.
Yeah. You feel that you're getting in. I was gonna do a joke, but it's gonna get the money to.
Oh.
It has to do with the juice. But yeah.
Well, I'm super low energy tonight. I'm really tired, but I got a lot of sleep. But I think my kids might be getting sick again. So
No.
Oh no.
My kids just spent the night at your kid's house.
it's probably their fault.
Yep.
If we're being honest. Your kids eat dirt, okay?
What kid doesn't eat dirt?
I mean, I let them. I was babysitting, but
Uncle Alan just, handing him a plate of dirt, being like, "Here you go.
Yep.
Here's your dinner."
I gave them
It's pie crust. Don't worry.
pizza and cake. Okay, I'm the cool uncle. Anyway, yeah. So, keep watching Shogun. It's so worth it. You got to pay attention, but
And just let me know what was the Jinx about, and then I can drop because.
Okay, the Jinx. it's the best true crime documentary of all time.
Yep.
It's so good. True story of Robert Durst, who murdered a whole bunch of people.
Allegedly.
I was
And
gonna say it's about him being caught having murdered his neighbor, and the trial around it, and how it might be related to other murders that were definitely him.
Yeah.
okay, so the way that the prosecution handled the case was worse than the OJ trial. I don't know who Fred Durst is, but Robert Durst. The Durst family, they're very rich, so it could be.
I think Fred Durst might be in like Limp Bizkit or something like that, or
Yeah, all of his money comes from his family wealth. So
It could be.
He is a super rich guy. Allegedly murdered his wife and his best friend, and then a couple years later, his other friend / neighbor. And it is fascinating how he gets acquitted of one of those murders. The other ones, they just never had enough evidence to try, except they might find more evidence because of the documentary.
Yep.
It's really good, and I'm enjoying season 2.
Yeah. So one thing my wife and I started watching, and we're almost done with episode 4 of season 1. I think there's 6 episodes in season 1.
Uh-huh.
And one thing I really like with this documentary, and I like with other documentaries like what was that? Tiger King, back in the pandemic, right? They did a similar thing with that, where
they're not trying to do a gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy who made the documentary, Andrew Jarecki, is it Andrew? It's Jarecki something. Andrew Jarecki, and it's the only reason that he got the interview, because everyone has tried to interview Robert Durst, and he's always said no. But Andrew Jarecki, the reason he got the interviews with Robert Durst is because he said, I'm not going to try and figure out how he did the murders. I'm approaching this giving him 100% benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
So-
really smart. It was
really
the same.
interesting. Go ahead.
I'm saying it was the same thing with Tiger King, how they interviewed both Carol Baskin and
They kind of framed Carol Baskin
well,
as the person that she is, but anyway.
but you got the interviews with her, current day, and under the pretense of, hey, we just
So
want
the
Your story.
the show does just as much to present a case for his innocence as it does for his guilt.
right.
It's just they found some stuff out.
Yeah.
At
thing that I also find
the end, they find some stuff out. That's really good.
So there's one other piece of this puzzle that we didn't talk about last week, but it's talked about a lot in the Jinx, is the fact that Andrew Jarecki, a lot of actually how he came to this was he made a movie.
He made a movie about Robert Durst.
About Robert Durst, it's like Mark something or other. Or,
it's the story of Robert Durst. It's the story of the disappearance of his wife.
I'm trying to remember what the name of the movie was.
Small Things or something like that.
Yeah, all good things.
All good things
is what it was called. Yeah, there it is. All good things. And so, after we finished and caught up with that last week, I went and I watched All Good Things, and boy, does it basically it takes a couple of little, obviously names are changed and everything, but the story is the story of him and his neighbor and the what happened with his wife and his best friend that helped him in all these different things, and it basically sets it up that Durst did it in this movie, this fictionalized movie based on his life, and that was what got Durst to reach out and say, hey, I liked that movie you did about me that made it seem like I was guilty. So I'll give you an interview. I'd love to do an interview with you. And he's like, okay, I'll sit down and interview with you. And I'm not going to try to approach it in a gotcha. I'm just going to interview you and see what you have to say.
So
I'm surprised that Durst liked All Good Things, because it pretty straightforward. Says like, yeah, this is what Durst did.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it, and I don't remember. I haven't heard of it before. So
it's Ryan Gosling as the star,
right?
So.
But I'm interested to know, like, was it publicized at the time that this was the story of Robert Durst, or?
I think so.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that I will give to All Good Things is it does kind of pass the buck a little bit to his dad. As to like
it leaves it open ended, right? It doesn't say he did it, but it kind of does. It like hints.
Kind of. It
lets the audience decide.
It's not necessarily that. It's more that it even though it does, to me, it seems like it very obviously points to he did X, Y, and Z things that led to these deaths or that caused these deaths. It kind of says, yeah, but also look at how difficult his life, like had a little bit of empathy for him.
But also they were asking for it. Look how they were dressed.
Not quite, but
Yeah.
But no, it was again. I'm just shocked that he liked that so much that he decided to go for it. Oh,
yeah.
I guess I think it does leave his wife's disappearance a little bit more open ended, but the best friend's death, it very strongly points towards what happened.
William joined the stream right when I did my "look how they're dressed" joke. We're talking about the Jinx. It was a really funny joke in context. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So David, you started watching it. You've already seen the first 3 episodes, and Jared, you binged the whole thing. Is that what you said?
Watched the whole thing and last night's episode or last week
and season 2. Yeah.
Which I then also have gone on to Wikipedia and read through the entire Wikipedia page on Robert Durst.
100% worth watching. Watch the Jinx. It's one of the best things ever made. It's so good.
It's really well done, and it really also shows the like kind of to your point, Alan, about the prosecution and their mistake and the defense and how brilliant they were with the way they approached it.
And especially with season 2, what's crazy to me is that in one episode, it makes the police look even more incompetent because they're all scrambling, saying, "Oh, we can't let him escape. We can't let Robert Durst get away." And they're doing all this last minute. They've had the evidence for 2 years, and they did nothing. And they waited for the TV show to come out to do anything about it.
Yeah.
And he almost got away because of it.
Oh, man.
It's insane, okay? Watch the Jinx!
As much as Jinx does not, like it approaches it in a very fair-minded and even-handed way. And maybe I was coming at it from my own bias because I was aware, based on you having mentioned it and talking about what was going on, that, like, yes, he's guilty, basically. But, like, watching this, I'm still surprised that as soon as the Jinx started airing, he didn't try to take off. He waits until because it makes him look pretty good for the first half. Does it make him look good, or does it make him look understandable, or like? Because I don't even think it makes him look that good beforehand. It just was like, well, it could have been this, but it might not have been. Because like, there's the shots in the Jinx of in those first few episodes where you see the character of his wife walking onto the train a couple of times. It like shows that, and then as they start to sow the seeds of doubt about that, they cut to the train doors opening and no one walking in. So to me, it's still all pointing to Jarecki thinks he did it,
or maybe alluding to the fact that he likes to dress up like women sometimes.
Well, that too, yeah. But yeah,
when it got to that part, I was like, okay,
yeah,
like, driving out and getting a new identity, sure, but why dress up like a mute woman?
Yeah. I fully planned on watching, at least I was committing to the first episode to see if it was good. I've seen the talented Mr. Ripley. It's a pretty good movie. And the week that it came out, Fallout dropped the whole season all at once, and I had to watch that. So I have yet to go back to Ripley. If it's good, let me know, and I'll do it. Anyway, Mexa, we probably need to talk about spoilers now. So if you want to peace out, we love you.
It was nice to see you guys. And
Yeah.
I do a stream next week for like birthday stream.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
See ya.
Enjoy.
See you, Mix.
Yeah.
The Jinx is absolutely worth a watch. Check out Mex's channel. It's great stuff. Boy. We can't even talk about all of the Jinx because David's here.
Yeah.
But-
well, I don't mind. I mean, I'm going to watch it anyway. It's not like it's
wonderful.
it's fine. You can go ahead and talk about it.
Well, it's crazy. No one was expecting a season 2 because it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
And I tried to follow the case online after watching season 1, and there's like no information. Like there's news articles every once in a while, but it was really hard to figure out what the heck happened to Robert Durst. So
Yeah.
I am real excited for season 2 to see what happened these last 10 years.
Yeah.
Apparently-
I read.
They didn't do anything until it started airing.
Yeah. Well, and a couple of things that are going on too is Durst died like a year or two ago, right?
Thank you for the spoilers. I didn't know. I was saving myself.
Part of what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I read through the Wikipedia article, so I'm just like, ooh, that's going to be interesting. I wonder what they're gonna show about that. Because you're right, it is still, even though like I read some things that happened between when the Jinx came out and now, it's very, very light on the information there. So it'll be really good to see what else it has to say in the show.
I will say, like, the big thing missing from season 2 is, you don't get the interviews with Robert Durst because, he's not a big fan of Jarecki anymore.
It's probably not, yeah.
Because of how it ends, which I will not spoil for you, David, but it's so good. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, one thing I do appreciate with this one too is my wife really loves murder mysteries and
Yes, she is.
We've watched a lot of them together, and a lot of times they'll bring up stuff in these episodes and then they won't address it for forever.
Yeah.
And this one does a really good job. Like I think it was
it's edited.
3.
It is structured and edited so
very,
well.
very well. Like season 2, I think it was, that ended, and I'm like, well, wait, what about this and this? And then immediately, episode 3 was like this and this. I was like, oh, okay. The answer. I'm like, I turned to Martina. I was like, I really hope they don't leave us hanging because it didn't.
No,
it
like
this, but it didn't answer these things.
It's quite impressive. Like, it's not just the story. Like, it's the way that it's presented. It's masterfully edited, and it gives you the steady drip of new information while keeping it a mystery the whole time, and like
it's very well structured.
It's a very, very digestible story and documentary, and it's really freaking cool. So
Yeah.
Shogun baby.
You
You guys all finished, right?
Yep. A little bit of a low key, or a little bit more low key, but still a lot of good stuff in there.
Oh yeah, it's kind of an anticlimax, and I loved it.
Yeah, the climax was the end of
The climax was episode 9.
That episode too. I wasn't here last week to talk about it. It was so good.
Oh,
And coming back to this episode and how they wrap it all up, because the last episode was named Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Right? And
Crimson Sky.
Crimson Sky, yeah, sorry. And that was really brilliant that they called it Crimson Sky, because
I'm smarter than you, David.
Okay.
We already had this conversation. Yes, because it was Crimson Sky.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
That's exactly what it was. But it was one woman instead of an army. and it was Mariko Sama.
I will say I was amazed at how together her body was being up against that door. After
that was
the last episode. I'm like, that she is in that one piece.
Yeah.
She's not in many pieces.
I mean, there was a big door, but yeah.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of blood or anything. She was just not alive.
But how explosive that what we saw like we literally saw this huge explosion in her face was going. Like I was sure that we were going to see a lot more gore out of that, or again that they wouldn't show it because it would be a lot more intense than that.
I know my big thing last week. My big speech was like, just give the man his boat, and let him shoot some cannons, please. This show really hates me.
Yep.
And I knew they pull into the harbor, and the sunken boat was like, you bastards. You bastards. He's not gonna get his freaking boat. And then like I was expecting an anticlimax just because I waited to watch it till today. And I saw on Twitter, some people are upset it wasn't very climactic. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So I kind of knew where it was going, but I was still really, really curious to see how it was presented. And I thought it was absolutely genius because yes, the ending is anticlimactic by design because Toranaga is a genius. And the way they present the ending of the movie,
he tells you what's going to happen.
It all happened. Yeah, it's the ending of a Monk episode, right? Here's what happened, but here's the ending of the there is no ending to this show. It's just Toranaga saying, here's what's going to go down. And so, and it's shocking how they got away with something that bold without just completely letting down the audience. But if you think about it, it would have been a huge letdown to actually go to that moment and then have it do nothing. And so the way this episode presents the information of what are you, and it's the conversation between Togayashi.
I don't remember his name. Yeah,
I gotta look up everyone's name. Whatever. The conversation between Toranaga and Toboyashi, whatever his name is. I'm just googling the cast real quick.
That conversation was really good. While you're
I was bawling the whole time. Yagushibe.
Okay.
Yabushige.
Yeah, the whole conversation was great.
Yeah, the whole conversation. Like, please tell me, how does this end? Like, are you winning? And he's like, you freaking idiot.
I've already.
The show's already over. The show is already over.
And then his last line to him, I love that. He's just like, well, tell me why, why would I tell yourself? It's like, why would I tell a dead man? It's like,
why would I tell a dead man the future? Oh man, Yabushige's ending is tragic, but also perfect. And I liked how it ended with his nephew as well. Like, he kind of makes the right choice at the end, and so he gets to continue. I love.
We can't hear you anymore, Jared.
Oh, yeah,
that's why I forgot to take off my other mic.
There you go.
Yeah, because his nephew had been a little bit of had been kind of with Yogoshibe before, where it's like, which side was he play? He was trying to play both sides, or play around in there, but
he doesn't go with them on the boat though.
Yep, and he had about the time that Toranaga's son died is where we see him kind of turn around a little bit, and I think I remember we were talking about it in that episode where it seemed like a little bit of a sudden turnaround, but like
no.
Pretty much Toranaga's guy since then. So,
yeah,
nope.
Yeah, he had the whole speech about he was the only one that stood up for his master or whatever, his father. Yeah. They were all making fun of him kind of a little bit at his eulogy and laughing a little bit, and he said, "No, you guys you're stupid." He got himself killed, but he did what he thought was right, and he stood up for it, and he did it.
I absolutely love Blackthorn's story arc.
Yeah.
Of and if you notice the flash forwards were unreliable.
Yeah,
they were
that's
visions.
what I wanted to ask.
They were him having visions because he was holding the cross while he was doing it.
Exactly.
So that
that's
was
what I was saying is
so that
I
was
wanted to know
him
which
saying,
time,
"Hey, am I going to go back to England?" That was him envisioning his future if he goes back to England. And then halfway through, you realize with Toranaga's line, "This dude's never leaving Japan, man. Like he's stuck here forever." And the second time it shows the flashback, it shows he's in Japan. You know, like so it's him having these fever dream visions.
One where it shows him in Japan.
Yeah, when it shows his house, it's a Japanese house in a big old futuristic city. You know,
Yeah, I didn't catch that
before
either.
before it had been, you could see it was like solid walls and stuff like that. It wasn't a Japanese house at first, but
You're talking about him in the bed.
Yeah.
With his two kids talking about the katana, right?
Yeah, but then there's an aerial shot where it like zooms in on a city and it goes back to him in bed, and it's a Japanese city.
Oh, I don't know if
I do remember that shot of the city. I don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. I remember the shot of the city. I don't remember the shot of that transitioning into his room.
It is.
But yeah, I wasn't sure if they were going to try to say that. Sure, he gives it away, but then, you know, a continued story might explain how he gets back to England with the cross or whatever. But I think you're right. I think it is an unreliable or a imagination of his, a vision of his sort of thing. But
the only
thing that I was curious about was, so far we have seen Toranaga not be interested in himself being Shogun. He's been wanting a united Japan, and he's been wanting to do that with the heir because he had the chance when the dude died to become the new basically Shogun, you know, the new Toshiba or whatever, but he chose not to. So do you think he's actually is he actually wanting to be Shogun, or is he just trying to, again?
I from everything they've showed his character, he is going to be Shogun until and he's going to train the heir to take his place.
And you think he'll let the heir take over after that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want it. He could have just been handed to him.
Yeah.
What
was the one thing you were going to say?
I would say the one thing that I felt like was missing was from Blackthorn's, with the inclusion of those flash forwards, and again, it was a lot. There's a lot to include in this episode, so maybe something was cut. Especially because they were like asking him a question, right? Like, where'd you get the sword? Is it true that you got it from a savage? I really wanted a line with like, no, I got it from a friend, right?
Well,
that would have been freaking good. That would have got me real good.
Was that sword given to him by?
I don't remember.
Or was that the sword that came from Fuji-sama?
So the sword from Fuji, no.
The sword from Fuji went to
he gave it to Toranaga, right? So he got another sword from. I thought he got it from Yabushige.
But I thought so too, but I didn't remember exactly.
I'll have to go back and watch.
Yeah, so that was kind of interesting because that's one where I could see it still being you got it from a barbarian, because Yabushige was the traitor. He was, so I don't know.
and he was,
but they were friends too.
Pretty savage. Yeah. So,
but
they managed to throw in a twist too with you can speak English this whole time.
That was good too. Yeah.
It's just like,
that brought it back around with
you son of the spy guy.
I also thought it was interesting that when Buntaro comes to help him pull out the ship, that one guy makes all the difference to pull out the ship.
Yeah, but dude, that guy, those are some strong shoulders, okay?
Yeah.
Buntaro, we all thought he was dead, okay?
I was wondering, like, there was the one point where he was about to go to visit Toranaga, and the nephew of Yabushige comes out and is like, your sword and your gun. And he gives it to him or whatever. That first shot of him coming around the corner and the people coming at him on horseback, I thought that was Buntaro. And I was like, oh, okay, what's going to go on? Because what's going on with him after Mariko dies? You know, how does he handle this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that wasn't it. And he just kind of was like, okay, I'm going to help you now. I'm like, okay.
That was good. He hands him his water bottle. There's just so many just good, touching moments.
Yeah. The moment when they're rowing away on the boat.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah,
disposing of her dead baby and husband.
The one where
I cried several times. I was just misty eyed.
Not that one. That one.
I wasn't bawling. I wasn't like out of control bawling like Return of the King, but I was misty. Just
the one that nearly got me
the whole time
was pouring out her little baby, and the look on her face. She did such a great job acting that of just the happiness and the sadness, and it was beautifully acted.
Yeah.
But the best scene is before that, when they're sitting in his house and she starts talking to him and he goes, "Yeah, no translator." And then it just zooms out and you're like,
yeah.
That's at the end it's so good. Such a wonderful like, I could not be more satisfied with this series. I'd be scared about a season 2, but I'd be excited. Like, you could do it. There is more to the story. It would be a completely different show, though. It would be a lot of fighting, and or maybe not a lot of fighting. Like, that's the point.
I was going to say a lot of fighting, or a lot of just training the young heir.
But I would like to see them do the other books. It would be nice to just have it as an anthology, and every season is completely different. That's really expensive to do, but it was so beautiful. I almost don't want them to touch it. I kind of don't want a season 2, but I would watch the heck out of it.
Completely understand that mindset. I also think too,
because the point of it was that there was no fighting, right? Like, that's the whole point of the story. So don't do a season 2.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
Well, I'm down for like the season 2 not being about the fighting, because we got that answer. I think if you do anything with a continuation of the story, you confirm that what he said was going to happen did happen.
I think you'd have to skip forward significantly and maybe even have Toranaga be dead and have it be about the heir filling the shoes, right? Like,
or I was even going to say maybe,
and you could include him in flashbacks to like give wisdom and stuff,
or either that or on his deathbed and they're recounting.
Yeah, and then it would be like a mirror of season 1,
Yeah.
So I was thinking something that we get to see the heir learning. So either 3.
But if they do a season 2, give the man his cannons.
Yes.
So I could have sworn in some of the advertisements for this show that, and we get them while we're watching the show. We get an advertisement.
I know. Hulu, come on! I already watched the whole season. I don't need ads for Shogun.
Yeah, but I could have sworn there was a shot of naval warfare, of a ship coming and shooting cannons off, and I don't remember that happening in the show.
Did we get that kind of in like that one of those first 2 episodes where there was where they were chasing the
there was the chase. There was the boat chase.
There was the boat chase where they go through the blockade, but I don't think there was any firing.
So there's one before that. There's one before that where he's what is it? I feel like there's at least one other like major boating scene where there was a little bit of a conflict. When he's like with the Spaniard or something like that. Before he's with the Spaniard, before he even gets to Osaka or whatever the first time. Okay. I feel like that
might be the case.
There.
I don't know.
It's so good because that threw me off, because I was like, okay, we still haven't seen that shot from the trailer, so there's gonna be a big naval fight this episode, and nope, didn't happen.
But if they do a second season, if they do a follow up, and especially with Blackthorn never leaving Japan, like
there's a story there.
He's going to get a fleet of ships, like to your point, like he's telling Blackthorn, he says, now if you're done with that, go make me a fleet, and he's starting to pull out this. So like we could get some really good naval warfare with that, depending on how they want to go with it and what story.
I loved the stuff with Blackthorn and the Catholic guy.
I love the bit. I think it was in last episode, not this episode, but they gave the the brothel and the church
Yeah.
land right next to
Is that
it.
last one?
So good.
Yeah.
That was very good. That was very good.
Everything about it, man. This show is just so beautifully shot, beautifully acted, beautifully paced, beautifully written. And
Another
just-
great scene. You guys already talked a little bit about it. Was the assassin or the spy samurai guy saying, like, besides the fact that he was saying, "Hey, I speak English already," but then him saying, "Well, at least you're not Catholic," and then he pulls out his cross and he says, "I am this and this. I can be both." You know, like that. That was a really cool, like,
Yeah.
this is the whole of who I am. Is more than just one thing. You know.
Mhm. But I love that, you know, Blackthorn's arc is just him just not wanting war anymore, and
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that line too. Like I was using it the whole time. My war
enemy,
is small.
enemy.
Right? Yeah.
He's
So
talking like a savage, right? He's talking like a caveman.
You.
What was the line? I shit in your food or something like that. No,
No,
I
I
fed you shit. It was so good. Just
Well, the one thing that I mean, Toranaga is too regal to really step down to that, but I almost want him to be like, yeah, I used you too.
I eat your shit.
And then I gave some right back to you.
That would have made it. That would have made this.
Oh.
You feed me. I order the shit. I saw on menu. I order it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yep. That it's just such a good show. Yep.
Very well done.
Just like just 10 out of 10 perfection.
Yep.
Oof.
Yeah. Now I want to go back and watch.
I'm rewatching the heck out of this, and I'm going to rewatch. I'm going to rewatch this. I'm going to watch the miniseries, and I'm for sure reading all of the books. So
Nice. Well,
I hope it's not in Japanese, though. I hope the audiobook's not in Japanese too.
We get subtitles on your audiobook somehow.
I have to sit and watch an audiobook. I have to read. I have to read the audiobook.
You know how with like
be
conference
great.
talks and stuff like that, when they do a translation, you'll still hear the audio, the original
Nice.
audio in the background, and then they have it dubbed over. That's what they'll do. They'll have it in Japanese and then dub over it in English, but you still hear the Japanese in the background.
Is Gaijin? That's the sequel, right? I don't know. There's lots of them.
yeah, there's like
No.
I believe Shogun was the second book that he wrote.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was the first in the Asia series.
So chronologically, and the order that he wrote them in are different. So the first one he wrote was King Rat.
Oh, okay.
I did a bunch of research on the author. What's his face?
James Clavell.
James Clavel.
Clavicle.
James Clavicle, right? So it's the Asian saga. Here we go. So he was a POW in World War II.
Oh,
He was in a Japanese prison for almost the entire war. So he was in a ship on his way to fight, and it gets sunk, and they get picked up by some other ship by an idiot captain ringing any bells, and rather than send them home, they had no supplies. He drops them off in Japan, expecting them to fight. And they had nothing. And so they just immediately get captured, and he was in prison the whole time.
wow.
So he wrote King Rat first, and that one is set in a POW camp in Japan, in Singapore. So he wrote that one first.
Gaijin, the one that Mark mentioned, is the last one he wrote, but the third one chronologically.
Yeah, so it was Rat, King, Taipan, Shogun, Noble House, Whirlwind, and Gaijin. So, but Shogun is the first chronologically.
Yeah.
And then Taipan is in Hong Kong. So, but Gaijin is the sequel in Japan. So they all take place with in the Orient, but not all. There's only 2 in Japan, 2 in Hong Kong. Well, I guess one in a Japanese POW camp, but it's about Americans, right? Yeah. And there's one in Iran. So
speaking
make
of
them all.
books,
Make them all.
I finally finished Way of Kings, and so now I'm on to Warbreaker or Words of Radiance. What am I saying?
Me too.
Oh, the other thing, one of the interesting things though about Clavel is he, for his entire life, he maintained the opinion that if we had not dropped the bombs, he would have died there. He never would have made it out of Japan, just because the attitude of the guards and the people there was like, we are fighting to the last man.
Wow.
So pretty cool stuff. And but he had it. He wasn't like pessimistic. He said it was one of the where's the quote? I'll see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. He said it became Changi, which is the prison in Changi prison, became my university instead of my prison. Among the inmates there were experts in all walks of life, the highs and the lows. I studied and absorbed everything I could, from physics to counterfeiting.
In prison. Nice.
But most of all, I learned the art of surviving, the most important course of all. So, heck yeah.
Wow.
Oh, also, he wrote The Great Escape.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that.
And another good one, I forget what it was.
Oh, and The Fly?
And The Fly, that was the other big one, yeah.
Wow.
So,
huh.
Yeah, I want to read some of his books. Anyway, you were talking about Words of Radiance. Sorry.
Just mentioning that I'm just barely getting into it. I picked it up yesterday, and I'm still in the prologue. So very early on at this point, but very good stuff for the final, the ending of Way of Kings. I was talking to my brother about it a bunch today, and all the different things that are in there. And he reminds me that there's always another secret. So I'm gonna keep that in mind with all the different things that were put together at the end of that book. So
yeah, I really, really like The Way of Kings.
It's really good. My wife is on the 3rd book. She'd already read the first 3, but she's rereading them before she reads book 4 because she never got around to that. So
nice.
She's like, I don't remember anything from book 3.
That's the only way I'm going to review.
She kept saying, I don't remember any of this. And I was like, that's because you speed read because you want to figure out how it ends and you don't pay attention to anything.
Yeah, book 2 is pretty good so far. The only criticism I have of book 2 is book 1 was really good, and it took a long time to get to where they were going at the end. But it never dragged on. It never felt slow.
Yeah.
But it took a long time. You see a lot of things happening, and like, okay, when is this going to happen? And it finally happens. Kaladin finally realizes, who he is and what he can do. And then book 2, everything is happening really fast. And you're like, okay, why did it take Kaladin so long to figure everything out? And
I'm there with you, because that's one of the reasons that so far, as much as I really am liking this, and it has a much more like, it feels deeper, it feels more epic than Mistborn. I think that Mistborn really did such a great job of keeping the right progression for Vin figuring out her powers. She had someone was teaching her and things like that, and progressing with that. Whereas with this one, there's still so much I don't know and understand about the shards and the spread and the storm and the using Stormlight like he does, and all of this. That it's like I know some of those things answered through these next 3 books.
Yeah.
But man,
but there's a lot, and part of that is by design too, because they lost all that information, and so reading through Mistborn, you're taught, okay, this is how the magic works. You ingest metals and you do this magical stuff, and you're learning as Vin is learning, right? But this in the Way of Kings, they forgot how the magic works.
There's no one to teach him how it works.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's really intriguing.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So, gotta say, Dalinar's sacrifice there at the end. Whew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was. I loved his thought process on it too. Dalinar is just one of those ones where I'm like, and it's been really interesting so far seeing in the prologue of Words of Radiance, Dalinar from 7 years ago, just before the assassination, being everybody just knows him as this drunkard, this wild and crazy guy, compared to the Dalinar that we know, and it's like, okay, now I get why everyone's sitting there going, man, you really have changed, and it lends credence when Jasna is saying about Galavar, like, wow, he really has changed a lot lately. Because that idea of like, how much would you say a human life is worth? It's priceless.
Yeah.
Well, so is a shard blade, and so I just traded one priceless thing for hundreds or thousands of priceless things. I think I got a pretty good deal. And you're just like, dude, just wait.
It's so good, and that was the perfect thing to do to win Kaladin over, because he was dead set against any light eyes,
And it's exactly one of those things like, where
Count of Monte Cristo with Zatanna, he's like, I am your man for life, and that's Kaladin. He's like, okay, I was wrong. Kaladin is awesome. Let's protect him with everything we've got,
And at least so far, as I've gotten to, it's still in the like, okay, I believed this. I believed that there was a few good light eyes out there before, and had that literally just ripped out from underneath him with Amaranth. So him still being a little cautious, at least that's where I'm at, is he's still a little cautious about it. But you're absolutely right that Dalinar is the kind of light eyes that he could get behind, and he would be that dedicated to, because he actually is all those good ideals. I thought it was really kind of fun. We look at the Way of Kings and the concept of the book within the book, the Way of Kings within the story, as this ancient tome of like wisdom and things like that. And you're like, it's kind of a little bit like the Bible. And it reminds me, there is a Old Testament story of one of the kings of Judah or whatever that was like, hey, we lost a religion a little while back. And he found the books and brought it back to the people, and was like, I wonder if that's a big part of the inspiration there, because that concept is a really cool thing there. So I don't know, cool
and
stuff.
Then also having previously read some of his deeper lore books, like Mistborn Secret History, for example, and then more recently the
Secret Project.
What's the last Secret Project?
Sunlit Man.
Yes,
Sunlit Man.
There's a lot of things in here that are starting to click. I'm like, okay, that's the.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. The one of the things that was really interesting was obviously Sunlit Man being a lot about Sigil, so you get to see Sigil here, and in Sunlit Man you learn that he was an apprentice of Wit of Hoid.
All you learn in this one is that Hoid was looking for him, or wanted to talk to him or something,
and that Hoid wanted to talk to him and has already been his he said, tell my apprentice he did a good job, or tell my apprentice he did, or whatever. So because based on Sunlit Man. Because you also hear him talking about in Sunlit Man wanting to hold a spear again, right? Which we know is going to have to come from his time in Bridge 4 training with Kaladin, right?
Yep.
And so, to me, I connected that to, maybe he trained with that and then he became an apprentice of Hoid. But no. He was an apprentice of Hoid first, and then he gets the spearman training, which was kind of cool to be like, that's a reversal of the way I would have assumed and read it in the original in Sunlit Man, which is pretty cool. Cool to see that he gets something going on with some shard armor and shard plate and shard blade. Or another. We'll have to see.
Mark, it's the best. It's the best one.
Yeah, Mark, I don't know what you're on about. Sunlit Man is so good.
I do like Yumi, and I do like Handbook. I like Handbook more than most people liked it. So
I loved. So I still put Yumi above Sunlit Man. I really liked Sunlit Man a lot, but I still put Yumi and even I'm with Mark actually. Yumi and Handbook I think are my favorites of the Secret Projects, and then I'd probably go Sunlit Man and then Tress. I don't know. That's
I like
probably where we
Sunlit
go.
Man so much. I think Sunlit Man stood alone as its own novel, but also had really fun tie-ins.
The world needs more westerns. Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. But
Have you guys seen the trailer for The Dead Don't Hurt?
No.
It's Aragorn in a western.
Okay.
What's his name?
Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, Viggo Mortensen. It looks
Okay.
real good.
Yeah.
That comes out in the 31st.
What is it called again? The Dead Don't Hurt?
The Dead Don't Hurt.
Okay. All right.
That could it's one of those titles where that's either a western or a James Bond movie.
Right.
Yep.
And Vigo really just needs to always have a beard. I'm just seeing his picture that pops up on Google. Google that in the cast. He should have a beard.
I'm looking forward
He's
to
not
that
maybe
one.
as bad as me without a beard, but I think he needs to have a beard. He just looks so good with a beard. Anyway.
I think the trailer looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, let's check that out.
Nice. Yeah, I'm down for that. I need to get some more money.
Yeah.
Lots
You're
of
telling me.
There's a lot of theaters.
repairs and cars and house and
Well, I'm 100% seeing Fall Guy. I don't know if I want to see Kingdom of the Apes. And then there's If, which is a good kids movie.
that one looks fun.
And then there's Mad Max and Garfield the next week. And then there's The Dead Don't Hurt. That's the next
There's another Mad
1,
Max.
2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. That's 6 movies in 5 weeks. I'm not seeing all of them. Yeah, it's the Furiosa. It's the Mad Max. It's the prequel. It's the prequel to the sequel.
All right.
Or I guess we don't know when Fury Road takes place, do we? I think that's supposed to be a prequel to the third, to Mad Max 3.
They've already got a Mad Max 2, The Wasteland panned too.
Hold on. When does Fury Road take place?
I never got into the Mad Max movies. Not that I don't think I enjoy them. I just never have. So I'm not going to worry too much about Catch a Furious until I have a chance to catch into the rest of the show, or rest of the series. I mean.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch the originals.
They're really good. The first one is very different. It's more reserved, and the second one is fantastic. The third one is a little bit weird, but fun, entertaining. Okay, so
Yeah, as all threequels are. A lot of threequels, not all.
Oh, okay, no,
Yes, yeah,
Fury
Mad
Road
Max,
is
Mad Max
Fury
2.
Road is after
Yeah,
all
Fury
3
Road
of them.
2,
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, I was going to say too that specifically in the start of book 2, there's a lot of stuff about the cognitive realm that we learn about in Secret History.
Secret History. That's one of the ones that I'm kind of curious about too, because I guess maybe until now I may have been conflating Shadesmar with the cognitive realm itself, and I wonder. I think there's a little bit of a difference there, because the way that Shallan is experienced Shadesmar is different than what we hear about from Secret History. I'll just say it that way in case there's anybody that doesn't get the spoilers there.
A little bit.
So, yeah, and that we're seeing Jasna also interact with, because she calls it Shadesmar right there as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
calls it out.
It's the same. It's just there's parallels.
I loved Fury Road.
I'll be curious to learn more about that. How far in are you?
Them's
So far?
fighting words.
I am several chapters in. Let me check on my phone. I am on chapter 11.
Chapter 11.
So,
Okay.
so probably like
Catch up and pass you pretty
20th
soon.
through the book.
I started reading Joe Abercrombie again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, this is one of the standalone books. This is the one that's getting turned into a movie, Best Served Cold.
Oh, okay.
With Rebecca Ferguson set as the lead, and it's fun. You can tell it's the same world. It's brutal and grimdark, but it's also funny. It's basically like it's a revenge story. So you get some carryover characters from the first trilogy, kind of in the background, and it's just a classic. Someone gets betrayed, and it's about them killing everyone who betrayed them.
Yeah.
And it just goes horribly wrong every time.
Yeah, I need to
great.
read First Law, but I first need to finish Stormlight, and
Yeah.
I want to read the first book in the Pendragon cycle before that is
Oh
released.
yeah, that's a good idea.
They're-
Do you know? Do we have a release date for that yet?
sometime this year.
Sometime this year.
Yeah, they don't have an official date, but
I finally finished Night Angel Nemesis from.
Oh, yeah.
Brent Weeks.
I thought you were already done with that, but
No, I finished the original trilogy, and then this was the sequel book,
Oh, you read the new one. Okay.
the new one, yeah, the brand new one. So
Yeah. How does it hold up?
it's okay. It's not as good. It's a little different because it's very. It also feels like, okay, this is the start of something else. So it's a
Setting
little
up,
open-ended.
setting some stuff up.
It has some good stuff. I think it's still really well written, but it doesn't quite have the same umph that I think some of the rest of them do. One of the things that I think really kind of throws you for a loop for a little bit is it kind of has a different framing of the story. Like the way that the story is presented to you is very different than the original Night Angel trilogy and what you get out of
Hey, Salty C.
Lightbringer and all that. So
Smoochies.
yeah, it's still good story. Yeah, curious to see if it goes anywhere. What else he does with it. But
Yeah. Salty, did you finish watching Shogun? I cried. We still need to do something together.
no.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying Best Served Cold. I think it'll make a pretty good movie. It's Shogun was 8.75 out of 10. Loved it. Yeah, it's a 10 for me. I have no complaints.
It'd probably be around
The one thing about Best Served Cold is that they're doing it before First Law, and it takes place after First Law, and it might spoil if they do the movie first. They could make some changes, but it's definitely going to spoil one pretty major aspect of the First Law trilogy. So it's a weird choice.
That's what I was going to ask you, if we could read that book before this.
Oh yeah, of course you could.
If you're Mark Clark.
I always believe in reading in publication order. Because there's a lot of stuff that you're going to pick up on that you're going to miss.
Yeah.
And they might have to reframe some stuff for the movie. I think it'll be a good movie. I think it's a weird choice if you want to continue on to do First Law, but it could work. I would prefer them doing First Law first, though.
I wonder if they're almost wanting to explore the idea of, hey, this is a standalone story in that world, and if it goes well, we can.
Mark
come
Clark
back
is
and-
super happy about this decision to start with the sequel. So, even love the finale. Oh, I love the finale. Anyone complaining about the finale just is an idiot who did not understand the series.
Yep.
So,
Does not understand art.
yep.
No, it was great.
It was slow, and yeah, I didn't get my cannons, but I loved it. So good. Looking forward to seeing what this guy does next, if it's not more Clavel stuff. Because
one more
Bravo.
thing I have to say about Shogun. I freaking love how excited he is to see his boat when they pull it back out. They're like, "Oh, there it is. There's my boat." It's like, oh my goodness, poor guy.
which episode was that one? Now I got to go back to Shogun on my research, but yeah.
Yeah, there were 1.5 episodes maybe that weren't as strong as the other ones in the middle somewhere.
Mm-hmm. But story was real good. Real good.
Yeah.
Episode 3 was Charlotte, the one he's talking about, the Rings of Power director.
Oh.
Which episode was that? It was episode 3. What happened?
Episode 3 is
that's the one where he got the swords. I liked that episode. That was the one where she pulls the guns on the guy. She gives him the swords. He gives her the gun.
Oh, and I like that trait of the guns and the swords too, where she's like, "These were my father's swords" and everything. I mean, we get the nice twist later that they were, not, but still.
Yeah, we're criticizing the direction, not the writing. But yeah, it had handheld fight scenes and a bad.
Okay.
Shots.
That didn't stand out to me enough to have taken away from the rest of it. So just to show that writing is super important.
Yeah, exactly. It was one of those things. I think. Looking back, that one wasn't directed as well, but you don't notice as much because the writing is so good. So,
well, especially in a show like
this. The one with the pheasant. No, that's
no, that's.
I think that's the next one.
That's episode 4.
Yeah, but
that's the Eightfold
That
Fence.
just goes to show, like, the writing's just so important. It'll take past that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was what I was going to say. Is especially in this kind of a show where like it's all about the writing, and I mean, great, gorgeous shots when you can get it, and when you've got good stuff to go with. But it's not about the action. The action's a nice little sprinkling on there, but it's about the drama and the acting and the performance, the writing and the interconnected stuff going on there. So maybe there's other movies or shows or whatever that could get away with, hey, maybe the writing's not as strong, but as long as we have some good action, because this is an action show, But
yeah, I just loved it so much. So that's the thing. Oh. See, that is the proof of the pudding that writing is much more important than directing, because I like it when Zack Snyder directs other people's writing.
Yeah, that's true. So looking at the descriptions of this, I do remember that because episode 2 ends with the attempted assassination, right? They try to kill him in the night, and then I do remember episode 3 is kind of takes things back again, and the story was ramping up and escalating, and then the vibe does really change in episode 3, which I like because it had a lot of good character moments, but I did think it was kind of weird that it kind of cut the tension from the previous episode. Yeah, it's a very, very good thing.
Fantastic. The last 10 minutes of the series barely has any dialogue in it, and it's just story, so much character work happening.
Yeah.
So
I was trying to remember exactly which scene, but there's a scene that cuts to I think it's Toranaga. It might be when I don't think it's when he lets go of his falcon, but I think it's earlier on.
Oh, that was good too.
To the him on his horse, and there's somebody over here, and then just this beautiful shot. And I'm like, that looks like a painting. I
100% I remember that too. I was like that. I want that on my wall. It was beautiful.
right. Yeah. I wonder if that did have some. It made me wonder when I looked at it a little bit closer if there was a little bit of compositing stuff with some effects they might have had going on.
100%.
The structure of the shot and what was in there was still really, really cool. That I agree. I want that painting.
Yep.
You know what I wouldn't mind is a prequel about Toranaga when he's a kid.
That's not a bad idea at all.
The problem is it would be a different actor.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, they did a pretty good job making him look younger in some of those flashbacks, you know.
No.
incredible.
But a lot of
really
a lot of the more
friends,
interesting parts of his life, though, was when he was a kid warlord, right? Or not a warlord, but yeah, when he was like 13 or whatever it was.
You could really play a Dalinar sort of storyline there, as much as you might want to, you know. How he learned to become
such a good
person that he-
time. I hope Hollywood learns, because it's a pretty popular show. It's getting really good ratings.
Yeah.
They also, released it weekly, which helped a lot. I personally got at least 5 people I know to start watching it, not counting everyone on this show who I forced. Okay? So,
Clockwork
release
Orange.
shows weekly, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does.
Wait,
like,
you want the Japanese guy to play Dalinar? Is that what I missed? Something I tuned out.
He might be asking the question, because I was just saying that people could
honestly, I would.
Become the great
I'm normally against race swaps, but if we got Toranaga playing Dalinar, I'd be freaking down. He's so good. Yeah. Then you just have to make all of the colons Asian.
Asian. Yep.
It wouldn't work. No,
Hopefully
he could. They could probably throw him in as like one of the heralds. One of them could be Japanese or something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I'm sure there's. I'm trying to remember which culture is most most Asian in Stormlight.
Oh,
but
from Rashad.
They said that Alethkar was based on Mongolia. So they're
good.
But
probably agree with that. I mean, that's still a little different, but.
So there was an article that
it's 2 times longer than the Eye of the World. Holy crap! The Eye of the World's like the longest one.
There was an article about casting for Stormlight, because Henry Cavill called up Brandon Sanderson and said, "Hey, I'm probably too old to play Kaladin, right?" And he said, "Yeah,
he could make a
you're too old."
Dalinar, though.
Also, he's Asian, so.
Oh, he is?
Fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Then yeah. Are they supposed to be Asian?
And then one of the things, so honestly, because the one thing that I remember is they talk about the Shin having extra big round eyes. So the Shin are the ones that are not Asian. So I think the rest of them are pretty.
Yeah. I think they're supposed to be Asian. Specifically, he said he drew inspiration from Mongolia and the stories of Genghis Khan, coming in and being this absolute tyrant, and then it's like, hey, what is it like if Genghis Khan had to, step up and be a leader, which he wasn't.
Yeah, not just.
Well, and I'm all for it. Hiroyuki Sanda as Dalinar. Go for it.
Yep. I think it would be really interesting, because that's one of those things I think that Brandon does pretty well too. Is he mixes things around so that it's not too obviously one thing or the other. So it's just going to be more fun to just play around with.
That's the thing, though, too. He said his inspiration for kind of the culture and everything was,
right. It doesn't mean it's a one-to-one
Asian
parallel.
and Mongolian, but then he also explains he describes the Alethis as really tall, which Mongolians I think are taller than the average Asian.
Right. They also don't walk around with safe hands and stuff like
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's not a.
Although there was one of those scenes with Fujisama where she had her sleeve up over her hand, where I sat there starting going, a little bit like a safe hand there, going, huh?
Yeah. I think she didn't want to touch the filthy.
It's the sort of stuff like when it's just generally covering everything that
the eyebrow.
It definitely wasn't a safe hand, but it was still
I'll tell you, I want to see the guy who played Yabushige. I want to see him in more stuff.
Yeah.
All the actors in the show were phenomenal.
Absolutely stand out. I guess he's been in a lot of movies. He's in Thor Ragnarok. I don't know who he played in that, but and Thor. Wait, he's in all the Thor movies.
Oh yeah, he was.
Maybe I'm racist. I don't know.
No, he was one of the characters that they.
Three friends or whatever.
Yeah, the 3 friends that they just kind of.
That they just kill off in the third movie.
Yep.
Cool beans. Good to know. But
Yeah, I remember looking
so
that up when
so many great performances.
looking at the actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really sad that we're not talking about Shogun next week. It is 1,125 pages. All right, how long is, just for comparison, because I have hardbacks and paperbacks. How long is The Way of Kings?
Way of Kings is
I can
12.
tell you in minutes.
I was gonna say I just returned it, but it's like 1,260-ish pages.
Yeah.
It's 1,000
So
hardcover.
So Shogun, it sounds like, is almost as long as The Way of Kings. I can tell you right now, Words of Radiance, which is slightly longer than Way of Kings, comes out, the last page says 1310. So, and it is really close to the same size. I think it's another 100 pages long.
The hardcovers have less pages. So, hardcover's 1,000, 180. Interesting. Yes. Was a standardized count. I don't know what that even means. The Eye of the World is... Well, I'm going to read it. Looking forward to it. It's not going to stop me. It won't affect me. Because this was the best thing on TV I've seen in a very, very long time. I think it
very good.
Totally holds up to shows like Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul.
100%.
Like top 5 TV shows of all time for me. Super, super good.
I would agree. And it's nice that, if we get a second season, great, I'll watch it. But it's nice that it's a nice content package. We don't have to say hashtag more raised by wolves, right? It's,
Yep.
I like that.
Why do you have to keep bringing up Raised by Wolves?
I'm sorry. I'm just saying it's nice that it's
I'm already sad because Shogun is over and it was sad. And you guys keep bringing up Raised by Wolves.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I haven't watched it in a while. It's Raised by Wolves. We should
shut up. Oh, I audiobook, so
yep.
I will just buy it that way.
Apparently, the actor for Yobushike has 3 directing credits and 2 composing credits.
Oh,
he's composing on a couple of those films.
I just what a tasty treat this was. It's so refreshing to have. Please, Hollywood, just learn, okay? Do more of this,
yep.
And I'll stop complaining, okay? I'll straight up, if I get one of these every year, I won't even complain about the crappy stuff anymore, okay?
Yeah, right.
I won't.
Well,
you like Masters of the Air too? I haven't watched it yet because I haven't finished the Pacific. I got too sad. The Pacific is rough. So I recently watched Band of Brothers for the first time maybe 2 years ago, and so now I'm doing the Pacific, and I had to stop. I'm gonna finish it. I wasn't in a good place, and it kept getting just more and more, just devastating.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of Band of Brothers, but I've heard great things, and I need to. But
yeah, do we have a release date for House of the Dragon season 2? It's supposed to be soon, right? Oh, do I already have it on the schedule? Yeah, it's June 16th.
They officially announced it?
Yeah.
In June?
They had a trailer, yeah. David does not have the cutest kid. I could bring mine down, but they're already asleep because they're obedient.
Yeah, I'm on kid duty. My wife had to run, and she's taking care of a youth with Down syndrome. So.
Anyway, I'm tired. I'm probably getting sick right now, so I'm good calling the show.
Yeah,
I'm good enough. Yep.
We got Fall Guy next week. Definitely watching that, and we got more of the Jinx part.
Is that all
season 2?
Is that all the nerd news and bad takes we had?
Yeah, I've been taking a little Twitter break, so I didn't have a lot of nerd news.
That's smart.
I mean, I still get on. I just don't. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, June. Okay, so we've got the Jinx. We've got a whole bunch of. This month is the Jinx and a whole bunch of movies, and then Outer Range season 2 dropping all at once because they're idiots. Good night. Thanks for the cool Shogun takes, man. We talked a whole lot about it before you showed up too, so watch that too if you want.
Yeah, check playback.
And then the Acolyte drops in June, and I'm not going to watch it or all of it.
So,
and then House of Dragon also drops in June.
Mark mentioned I should do some reviews of books on my new channel. I might actually use Acolyte as my excuse to start a regular show.
Yeah,
there you go.
They finally got my house. I think Tuesday we might get our go ahead. So,
all right, that's good news.
You're
we
moving?
spent a lot of time there yesterday.
Moving?
Just
cool.
Yeah, just like 5 minutes away from where we're at.
Cool.
Still here in California, but it's a beautiful area and beautiful place, and we're super stoked about it. So
I did see the Weinstein case got overturned. I assume someone's going to appeal it or something, but
that's going to be interesting.
I hope it gets appealed. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. The justice system is pretty messed up right now. It is a political arm of the government.
Yeah.
Watch the
5 years from now, a documentary on Weinstein.
I don't want to watch that.
Hey, there's that other documentary about the Nickelodeon scandal.
I've heard it's really good, and I don't want to watch that, man. That just makes me so sad.
My wife started watching the first 2 episodes, and she had to stop because it's awful.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not really bothered going to it. I know Hannah's watched it, but yeah.
No, you can't have that.
Oh, that's
Look.
That's supposed to be green. Sorry, I'm trying to look at her schedule. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I want to go to bed. But thanks for joining the discussion. We'll have fun next week too, and I'll hopefully be more lively. And if you wanted a music update, I just got sent 2 songs today, and I think we're done.
Nice.
I know there's one tweak on one of the songs that's done that needs to be tweaked, but we're doing last looks.
Awesome.
We're on dress rehearsal, so
good stuff.
Super excited. I really like how this last one turned out.
Yeah.
It's one that I wrote like 90%. I did compose 90% of it too. I usually compose like 50% because I'm a mediocre composer. So I'll write the lyrics and do some basic composition and then send it to my friend who's much better, and he'll add like 30 tracks and send it back to me. I'm like, okay, this is great.
I can attest. He's shown me his rough drafts. He's like, what do you think about this? I give him some, my thoughts on the lyrics or whatever, and then he comes back and shows me the more finished tracks from Aaron. I'm excited to see the final product.
It's a record in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Shelby, I should do a blurb on the back. That'd be great. Hey, also, David, I need your help finishing the album. So
yes,
the art. So
the cover art and everything.
Yeah, I mean it's mostly done. I just need help because I'm bad at that kind of stuff.
For sure.
Anyway, see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. We love you, appreciate you, and so sad the Shogun's over, but more things, beautiful, beautiful things to come. So.
Yes,
the Shogun is over, and our show is over.
Yay! I'm exhausted. I don't feel good, so I'm gonna go sleep. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Right.
now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining, so please consider joining Patreon.